Hey, Jason here, and with our educational series on how to use Google to sell your land, I want to continue with this video answering a question. How can I use Google to find a photographer to take pictures of my land? If you want to sell a piece of property, a picture is worth 1,000 words, as they say, and good photography is very important. Now, you might have seen pictures like you see here, where it's an aerial view and they have the property lines really drawn out in a nifty way. That definitely helps people understand what they're buying and helps it sell quicker. Or even just good ground photos showing the street views and the different angles of the property and the features that it has. So how could we do that? We'll simply go to Google, and the first site that we can use is WeGoLook. So we just put in WeGoLook. And as you can see, we'll follow the link to their website. And WeGoLook is a service that will actually go look for you and take pictures of all different things. You could have them go take a picture of a car you'd like to buy, of just about anything in a business sense. They do offer these services in many places in the state of Texas as well as throughout the United States. However, keep in mind that they are not necessarily drone photographers or real estate photographers, okay? So in most cases, they will actually go take pictures and ground pictures at different angles with the instructions you provide. But you need to ask ahead of time so that you have a realistic expectation of what they're going to do for you and to see if they do cover the area where your property is. For instance, if your property is very rural or off the beaten path, this might not be the service. Now, another thing you can do, we're looking at property in Texas, so let's say your property is in the Dallas, Texas area, or in whatever major city that it's near. You can just go ahead and put Dallas, Texas drone photography. Now, as a general rule, drone photographers are going to be the people to go to for this type of photography. For land, you usually want a few ground pictures and some good aerial pictures. So if we pull this up, there's just a lot of drone photographers in the Dallas area. We can click View All, and it'll take you to all the different ones. When looking for a drone pilot and photographer to take pictures of your land, you want to contact a few different ones, and you can see different businesses. I always try to look at the ratings. These are ads, so they're paid to be on top, so they're not necessarily the best. But they are popping up there. But you can see here, Nadar Drone Aerial Photography. He's got a 5-star rating. There's just 3 reviews though. However, Dallas Drone Pros has 9 reviews and 5 stars, so that looks good. Torillo View Aerial Photo has 21 reviews at 5 stars. So I usually like to read a few of the reviews and just make sure. Sometimes they have a 4-star, which is not terrible. Maybe there was one person, and I like to read it and have a realistic expectation of what could go wrong or what they're doing right. So you can see here the drone operator was professional and very competent using his drone. That's great. So you want to contact a couple of these. You can actually link right directly to their websites, and it'll pull up their site, and usually they have a contact button there. So you can go to the contact button, and then I just send them a quick email. It says, hey, I'm looking for photography, both ground views and aerial views of a piece of vacant land. And it's important to tell them the size of the land. If it's a 100-acre piece of property, it's going to be a lot more walking and flying for them than if it's a half-acre piece of property, right? And usually I'll give them the area that it's located and ask them for an estimate. And then once they send you the estimate, you can then start to come to an agreement on the contract and give them some details. The final way we do that is just to go through to Facebook. And if you go to Facebook and you log in, there are also buy and sell groups locally. So maybe on Google you're in a more rural area and you can't find anything on Google listed as drone photography because oftentimes in rural areas there are people that do this type of work, but they do it part-time and they work in another job full-time. So you can go to Facebook, and a great thing that I've used is to look at the buy-sell groups in those local smaller towns and then just post in there, hey, I need someone to do real estate photography or drone photography for land for me in this area. Any suggestions or recommendations? And usually someone, within a day or two will write you through Messenger, contact you and say, hey, I do that type of work, or I know someone that does that type of work, and you can go from there. Now it's important to have an expectation because not all drone photographers are going to know what you want. So I usually make a quick list and send it to them in instructions for through an email when we come to an agreement on the contract and the pricing. And I usually say, hey, I'd like, you know, these type of pictures, and look at the map on the property. I give them specific instructions like of the southwest corner, of the northwest corner, from this street, and from an aerial view, from a low angle and from a higher elevation. And you can even ask them if they're capable of drawing in property lines, which some people do. Now they're going to offer you different prices. Some of them will edit it and give you a video and a really neat little package, and it's going to cost quite a bit more. Others are just going to give you the footage yourself, a whole bunch of pictures you need to pick through, and you're going to save some money, but you're going to spend some time. So these are the things that you can do if you're using Google to find a land photographer, and I hope that helps you in the process of selling your property yourself with Google. Stay tuned for more videos in this series.